going to start off making the base for the simple pizza. We're going to put the oven on at 220, gas mark 7. We're using 75 grams of wholemeal flour, which is going to give us a little bit of fibre and a little bit of texture into the base for the pizza. We're then going to add in 75 grams of self-raising flour, which is going to help to make the pizza dough rise and make it quite light. We're then going to use 50 grams of margarine, and I'm just going to cut that up with my knife. I'm going to rub it in, but it's easier and quicker to do it if you've cut the margarine up first. So using your fingertips, you're going to rub that in until it looks like breadcrumbs and there are no lumps of fat on the top. Just keep turning your bowl round, making sure that you are getting right down to the bottom and using all the flour. And when there are no lumps left, then you're ready to stop. Give your hands a quick wash, and then we're going to add in the milk. And we're going to mix that with a round bladed knife until we've got a nice sort of soft, elasticy consistency. Don't add it all at once, otherwise you might end up with too much, and you need to kind of judge the consistency of the dough. So you don't want it too sticky, but you don't want any dry bits left in the bottom of the bowl. Get some flour onto your table, a little bit of flour on top of the dough, and then you're just going to lightly knead. This isn't a bread dough, so you don't need to, we're not kneading it for any length of time. We just want it to be nice and smooth. And then we're going to roll it out nice and thin, about 1 centimetre, so not thick at all. It will rise a little bit in the oven because we've got self-raising flour in it. It should be about this, a bit bigger than the size of your hand. Okay, it's about the size of mine, so a little bit bigger than that for you, and get it onto your baking tray. The next step is to make the topping. We're going to chop the onion into tiny, tiny pieces, as small as you can get them. So take the peel off, leave the root end on, and you're going to cut up the lines on the onion until you have gone all the way round, making sure your fingers don't get in the way, and then cut across the way. Okay, and you should end up with very finely chopped onion. The onion doesn't get cooked in this recipe before it goes on top of the pizza, so you need to make sure it's fine. We're now going to add some tomatoes. The recipe says 2 tin tomatoes, but because these are already chopped, we're going to use 4 tablespoons of chopped tomatoes. So instead of using 2 tin tomatoes and 2 tablespoons of juice. And then it's a teaspoon of tomato puree, and we're going to put in some mixed herbs to add flavour, and a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to mix that all together, and then we're going to place that on top of the pizza dough. Use a spoon to put this on. Don't tip it all into the middle. We're going to just edge that round so that we've got a neat edge. If you go too close to the edge, it'll overspill and it sticks onto the tray. So just leave a little bit of a gap. Not too big, because there's nothing worse than getting a bit of pizza and it's not got any topping on it. So once you've got that neatly on there, then you're just going to I'm just going to weigh out the cheese, and we're going to sprinkle that on the top. If you don't get mozzarella that's grated, then obviously you have to grate it, but most days now you get that grated in a bag. Sprinkle it on evenly, right, so that the tomato is covered. Now, if you wanted to put any toppings on, then put them on before you put the cheese on the top. Okay. Make sure there's no bits spilled on the tray and that it's nice and even before you put it into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. When it's ready, you're looking for the edge of the pizza to be a golden brown colour. It's quite firm, and the cheese on the top starting to go a golden brown. Okay, so you can see there it's quite firm at the edge. None of my tomato has spilled off. Okay, and that makes it easy to lift off the tray onto a plate.